This is Quincy Riley, cornerback out of Louisville. Quincy had an illustrious career at AC Florida High School, being a three-sport athlete in football, track, and basketball. In his football career, he was a wide receiver, corner, and a special teams ace, recording 28 tackles, 5 interceptions, 19 receptions for 303 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He also recorded 6 touchdowns on special teams with his amazing return ability. Quincy was honored with first-team All-State and was selected to the Columbia Metro All-Star team, and was the 4A Special Teams Player of the Year. After being rated as a 3-star prospect coming into college, from what I could find, he only received offers from Georgia Southern and Middle Tennessee State, committing to the University of Middle Tennessee State. After redshirting his first year for the Blue Raiders after an injury, Quincy would see limited action in his second year, but would show his potential, recording 14 tackles, 4 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions before suffering another injury, causing him to miss the final 3 games. Despite this, he'd be named as a Conference USA All-Freshman for his solid play. In his third year, Quincy would finally break out, playing in 9 of 11 games and recorded 33 tackles, 9 pass breakups, 5 interceptions, 4.5 tackles for loss, and 1.5 sacks. He'd be selected as a first-team Conference USA, and with this would enter the transfer portal, citing wanting to improve his game further. Despite receiving an offer from Ole Miss, Quincy would commit to the University of Louisville. Quincy would continue his sensational play with the Cardinals, coming in as the 3rd corner on the depth chart. This wouldn't last for long though, as he'd return as the primary starter in his 5th year, recording 49 tackles, 12 pass breakups, and 3 interceptions. After returning for a 6th year to Louisville, he'd have another solid year and would declare for the 2025 NFL Draft. Before I move on, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to like and subscribe to never miss one of my videos. If you couldn't tell by now, Quincy has a clear knack for finding and getting the ball, consistently having 2 or more interceptions on the season. He's shown his natural instinct in being able to jump a route and make a play on the ball, making him a constant threat for an opposing quarterback that has to watch for him. This has helped with his exceptional football IQ, which gives him the ability to recognize a route before it's fully developed and bait the quarterback into making a bad throw. If the ball does make it to the receiver, Quincy has shown his ability to match the receiver, regardless of any size difference, to make a possible play. A huge draw for many NFL teams could be Quincy's positional versatility, able to play on the outside or in the slot, and is solid in both man and zone coverages while utilizing his quick hips and feet to mirror a receiver. His track background in high school gives a good look at his athleticism, as he demonstrates his great closing speed and coverage, and his tackling is also on point, able to wrap up efficiently to prevent yards after the catch. Pair all this with Quincy's special teams experience dating all the way back to high school, I'd be surprised if there were any NFL teams that weren't interested in it. There's always a downside to being a ball hawk, and that tends to be over-aggressiveness. Quincy tends to do just this, looking to create a turnover too much sometimes, which can expose him to a big play or a penalty. There's also concerns about Quincy's build as a corner for the next level. He's 6 foot, 195 pounds, with very real strength concerns that could cause him to struggle against taller and stronger receivers at the next level. And while Quincy ran track in high school, there are concerns about his long speed, with him topping out quicker than some receivers, a point that could cause him to struggle at the next level. His limited play against higher competition also exposes a potential learning curve at the next level, with his time in the Conference USA being more of a hindrance to his draft position despite his fantastic play. But possibly his biggest issue is his lack of run support. He can struggle to disengage from blocks and assist in the run game, in large part due to his lack of pro strength. Pair this with him already being almost 24, coming off a less productive senior year. If Quincy's build wasn't such a large question mark, he could easily be a top 100 pick, but unfortunately, it is. Despite his questionable build, you would think that Quincy's fantastic progressive production in college would make him a much higher pick in this year's draft. We've seen smaller corners perform well in the NFL, and I think that his pros far outweigh his cons. All of Quincy's downsides seem very fixable, but NFL teams don't always draft based on future potential, but rather immediate impact, especially in the earlier rounds. His draft stock is all over the place, with some scouts seeing him as a 6th round pick, while others believe he could go as high as the 2nd round, especially with his solid Senior Bowl performances so far. I'm taking the upside for Quincy, having him as a 3rd round pick. I absolutely hate when when scouts knock prospects solely on their build and ignore everything else. I genuinely believe that Quincy Riley will become one of the productive corners at the next level.